Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to figure out what companies are really up to. Today we're diving into a report from IZEA Worldwide, and let me tell you, after reading this, I'm starting to think influencer is just another word for expensive cat video creator. You'll see what I mean. IZEA filed an update to their annual report. Turns out there was a small accounting mistake and they forgot to include a consent from their accounting firm. Basically, think of it like submitting a homework assignment and realizing you forgot to sign it. It happens. Let's see what they changed. The actual error was a mix-up in how they reported some gains and losses. They accidentally put a number in the wrong column, mixing up currency translation with securities they held. It's a bit like accidentally sending a text message to your mom that was meant for your friend. They fixed it and it didn't actually change the overall profit or loss numbers, so no major harm done. They are also including the consent from their accounting firm, which was inadvertently omitted from the original Form 10K filing. Alright, let's get into some actual numbers and see if we can find a story here. We're going to skip the fluff and jump straight to the financial statements. That's where the real juice is. Before that, it's important to note that accounting firm Grant Thornton LB gave them a passing grade for the year with a clean opinion. Looking at the balance sheet, which is a snapshot of what the company owns and owes, there are a few interesting numbers. First, their cash and cash equivalents increased from about $37.4 million to $44.6 million. That's good. They have more money in the bank this year. It's important for a company to hold cash to be able to invest or weather a bad storm. Accounts receivable, which is money owed to IZEA by their customers, went up slightly. It went from $5 million to almost $7.8 million. This shows that they are doing a slightly larger amount of business with customers using credit. The company listed about $5.2 million in goodwill last year, and nothing this year. We'll have to check what exactly happened to it. Let's see the income statement and dive into how profitable they are. It's also known as a profit and loss statement, or P&L. It shows you how much money came in and how much money went out. First up, revenue or income. Here they went slightly down. The income was at about $36.2 million to about $35.8 million now. Not great. Next, let's talk about expenses and dive into where the money goes. One thing that immediately jumps out is that general and administrative expenses shot up from about $13.2 million to $16.7 million. That's a pretty big jump. That's the cost of running the company. They can't be blamed directly, but it's also a bad sign if those skyrocket. And that giant goodwill disappearance, we have an answer, an impairment charge of over $4.11 million. This is an accounting term that means the company realized that an asset they thought was worth something wasn't. This is one of the worst things a company can face, accounting-wise. All those things combined to make a net loss of $18.8 million from last year. To explain this drop, let's check the section on divestitures. Basically, they dumped Huzhu Holdings, which resulted in $2.02 in expense. The statement of cash flow shows how cash changed by listing all movements of cash that happened at the company. Here again, we see the company had a negative number of 11.4M, which means they burned a large amount of money. Now for some good news. Cash flows from investing activities provided 19.7N, which is what allowed the company to have positive cash at the end of the year. How? Through selling investments. A few key numbers for you. For the latest year, the company had about $51 million in investments, which are mostly in treasuries. I can mention something interesting in Note 5 that IIRZ ditched Bitcoin and Ethereum after selling all its digital assets for total proceeds of $0.2 million. Then in Note 9 about commitment and contingencies, the company's acquisition of Huzhu on December 1, 2023 included 4 equal contingent cash consideration payments totaling $0.4 million with 12-month measurement periods ending December 31, 2024 and 2025. The payments are hit or miss, and as the performance went poorly, will not happen. And finally, the filing confirms that Grant Thornton L has served as the company's auditor since 2022. The company has concluded that there were no other significant subsequent events. Okay, so what's the story here? Well, IZEA had a pretty rough year. They lost money, revenue was down, and they had to admit that some of their assets, particularly goodwill and Huzhu, weren't worth what they thought. On the bright side, they're sitting on a pile of cash and they're trying to cut cost. Okay, time for my unfiltered thoughts. IZEA is at a crossroads. Their core business model, paying influencers, might not be as scalable or profitable as they hoped. High admin expenses are a problem and they need to decide which markets to pursue to make it successful. App-selling Huzu was a good first step, but they need to be careful where the money goes. Their biggest strengths are cash and brand recognition. Their biggest weaknesses are profitability and consistent execution. Ocha needs to clean house and find their path, or the cash might disappear in a few years. Thanks for watching. Corporate Decoder is here to help. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, leave a comment and subscribe for more deep dives into the corporate world.